they were once invincible.
The meltdown of Japanese home appliances, a perfectionist's tragedy. There was a time when the whole world was obsessed with Japan. The Sony Walkman, Panasonic TVs, Sharp electronics. Back then, made in Japan meant quality. At their peak, Japanese companies held over half the world's home appliance market. They looked unstoppable. But fast forward to 2025. Even in Japan, it's hard to find Japanese products on the shelves. What happened? Well, today, we're diving into the ridiculous yet painfully true story of how the world's best home appliance industry began to collapse. It all started with the Sony Walkman. When it came out in 1979, it changed everything. Listening to music on the street, that was straight out of a sci-fi movie. But by the late 1990s, the world had changed. MP3 players appeared, and then came Apple's iPod. That's when the world went digital.
Guys, the iPod's taking over. We need to make our own MP3 player.
No, I have a better idea. Let's make the cassette tape even smaller.
What? You can't be serious.
Quiet. You just don't understand craftsmanship. We'll make the world's smallest cassette player. Perfection in miniature.
Sounds absurd, right? But it's true. While the MP3 revolution swept the planet, Sony poured millions into perfecting the ultimate cassette Walkman. That's like trying to make a faster horse when cars are already flying. And the result? A total disaster. People were carrying 1,000 songs in their pockets, while Sony proudly said, "This cassette can play for 90 minutes. Isn't it amazing?" This was lesson 1. The delusion that technical perfection can replace market need. The market had already moved on, but Sony was still polishing a product no one asked for. In 2007, Sony unveiled the world's first OLED TV, the 11-inch XEL1. It cost around $2,500 for a tiny screen. Technically, brilliant. Commercially, a nightmare.
The picture quality is flawless, but it's too small, too expensive, and
It's fine. We're pursuing perfection. Slowly but perfectly.
Meanwhile, in Korea, Sony made an OLED? Great, let's make it big, cheap, and fast. LG went all in on mass production. It didn't have to be perfect, just good enough to launch. Then improve after release. And by 2023, irony struck. LG Display, the only company mass-producing OLED panels, was supplying those panels to Sony, the original inventor.
Hello, LG? Could we order some OLED panels?
Sony? Oh, welcome back. How many do you need?
That's lesson 2. Inventing something first doesn't mean you lead the market. Sony was the innovator. LG became the market leader. Now for something truly absurd, a glimpse into the extremes of Japanese corporate culture.
Sir, many companies are adopting electronic signatures now. It's so much faster.
Electronic signatures? But our Hanko stamp has centuries of tradition.
But sir, in this global era...
Wait, I have an idea. Instead of electronic signatures, we'll make a machine that automatically stamps the documents.
You can't be serious.
But it's true. A Japanese company actually invented an automatic stamping machine instead of just using e-signatures. They found a way to maintain the problem more efficiently instead of solving it. That's regressive innovation, choosing improvement over revolution. Like researching faster horseback riding after the train's been invented, in Japanese it firms. Even a small update requires dozens of reports. 3 months later, the world has already changed. That's lesson 3. In the digital age, speed beats perfection. While they were drafting the perfect plan, their rivals launched, failed, improved, and dominated. Now, let's talk about the Elpida memory tragedy. Their DRAM chips were works of art. 98% yield using 43 masks. Korean competitors, only 20 to 25 masks.
Our yield is 98%. Almost perfect.
Excellent. That's Japanese craftsmanship.
Ours is only 80%. That's kinda low.
Maybe.
But we make smaller chips, so we fit more per wafer. It's cheaper that way.
And guess what? The imperfect chips won. Elpida made 9.8 flawless, large pizzas, while the Koreans made 16 smaller ones and sold more. Elpida went bankrupt in 2012. The company that made a perfect but costly product lost to one that made a good enough and affordable one. That's lesson 4. The market doesn't want a 98-point product. It wants an 80-point one at half the price, especially if the consumer can't tell the difference. In the 2020s, the next big battlefield was India, a market of over 1 billion people.
We have to enter the Indian market.
Great! Our high-quality products will dominate.
Market research says Indian women wear saris, delicate fabrics, and there are a lot of mosquitoes.
Perfect. Let's add a sari wash mode and an air conditioner that repels mosquitoes.
LG's washing machine cleans my sari perfectly. Samsung's AC keeps me cool and no mosquitoes.
Japanese products? They're good, but expensive. Not made for how we live.
Korean companies went even further. Samsung launched a 4-hour delivery and installation service. LG got listed on the Indian Stock Exchange, basically saying, we're an Indian company now. And Japanese firms still defending made in Japan. By 2023, the irony peaked. Samsung overtook Sony inside Japan. They were losing even at home. That's the Galápagos Syndrome. Like animals evolving in isolation, they became so unique they couldn't survive outside. In the 1990s, a revolution began. EMS, Electronics Manufacturing Services. Apple designed, others built. The world embraced this efficiency.
Using EMS could cut costs by 30%.
Absolutely not. Design and production are one. Our craftsmanship cannot be outsourced.
Yes, we must build everything ourselves. That's monozukuri.
And the result? Massive costs, while competitors became flexible and lean. From 1973 to 1993, Japan's electrical sector grew nearly 16% annually. After that, just 2%. Their craftsmanship had turned into a burden. That's lesson 6. Total self-reliance sounds noble, but in a connected world, it's self-destruction. This century belongs to collaboration, but they were still dreaming like lone samurai. In the end, Japan didn't fall because it lacked technology. Its tech was, and still is, amazing, but they fell in love with technology itself. They chased perfection, not change. Pride, not the market. Isolation, not cooperation. That's why today, even in Japan, Japanese products are disappearing from Japanese shelves. It's not just business, it's a warning. Korean and Chinese companies won because they moved fast. They built an 80-point product, threw it out there, listened, improved, iterated. 90 points next time. Japan spent a decade making a 98-point product for a market that no longer existed.
At last, the perfect cassette player.
We stream music now.
Oh!
When you chase perfection and miss the timing, you don't get perfection, you get perfect failure. The fall of Japan's home appliance industry wasn't a failure of technology, it was a failure of pride, a failure to adapt, a failure to listen. And that's a warning for today's market leaders too. The moment you forget that lesson, your empire starts to crumble. So before you go, remember, subscribing and liking won't vanish like Japan's electronics empire. Because this video was made in the minds of the curious,